Hello there, you're watching Nightline with me, Nakia Basharuddin, and here are your headlines. FGV Holdings loses 13.6 billion ringgit since 2012. Assets to be disposed identified. And British Prime Minister Theresa May faces a humiliating defeat in Brexit deal crucial vote.
Saya ini tidak ubah bagai condong yang akan menongkat, bagai rebah yang akan menegak. Pada sayalah tempat sekalian rakyat menumpang teduh apabila dilanda musibah dan menumpang kasih apabila berduka.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku!
Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah Ibni Sultan Ahmad Shah has been proclaimed as the 6th Sultan of Pahang on Tuesday, succeeding his father, Paduka Ayahanda Sultan Ahmad Shah. The Tengku Muda of Pahang, Tengku Abdul Rahman Sultan Ahmad Shah, made the proclamation in a ceremony steeped in tradition at the Balai Rong Seri, or throne room of Istana Abu Bakar in the royal town of Pekan. The proclamation ceremony began at 11 a.m. soon after the arrival of Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tengku Puan Pahang, Tengku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. Tengku Muda of Pahang, Tengku Abdul Rahman Sultan Ahmad Shah, and Tengku Arif Temenggung of Pahang, Tengku Fat Muazzam Shah, also accompanied the royal couple. They came to the throne room preceded by 7 bearers of the royal regalia, including the sword of government and kuris of government. Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tengku Azizah then sat on the throne, and Allah Selamatkan Sultan was played. After the state anthem, Tengku Abdul Rahman then read out the proclamation under Article 9A Part 1 of the Pahang State Constitution.
Maka yang demikian, ketahuilah kepada semua yang hadir, seluruh rakyat Pahang dan semua orang, supaya mengambil maklum dan menjunjung taat setia kepada Kebawahuduli Yang Maha Mulia Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah Ibni Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah.
Afterwards, Tengku Abdul Rahman presented the royal instrument of proclamation to Al-Sultan Abdullah, who then pronounced the oath as the ruler of the state.
Aku berkata dengan sesungguhnya dan dengan sebenarnya mengaku dan taat setia pada menjalankan dengan adil dan amanah pemerintahan bagi negeri Pahang dan segala jajahan takmurnya, mengikut sebagaimana undang-undang tubuh kerajaan negeri Pahang.
Soon after Al-Sultan Abdullah had pronounced the oath, the audience hailed Allahu Akbar, followed by Daulat Tuanku.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku! Daulat Wangku!
The Tengku Muda of Pahang, representing members of the royal household, royal council and the Orang Besar Pahang, as well as the Menteri Besar and state government officials, then read out the pledge of loyalty. On another note, Al-Sultan Abdullah decreed that he will decide on the heir to be appointed as the new Tengku Mahkota after a family discussion. The ruler said that although it could be predicted who would be appointed, he needed time to make his decision before announcing it. Al-Sultan Abdullah also revealed that the Tengku Panglima Besar of Pahang, Tengku Hassan Al-Ibrahim Alam Shah, is currently undergoing military training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, on the appointment of the 16th Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Al-Sultan Abdullah said he will leave the decision to the Conference of Rulers. He added that he will not jump to any conclusions and that he is confident the Conference of Rulers will make a wise decision over the matter. He also said that the matter was in the hands of God. Al-Sultan Abdullah said this after a feast held in conjunction with his proclamation as the 6th Sultan of Pahang. When asked if he can work with the current Pakatan Harapan government, Al-Sultan Abdullah assured all quarters of his ability to work with anyone and to be approached by anyone. In another development, the government has denied speculation that January 31st will be declared a public holiday. This after a viral message had claimed that the public holiday is in conjunction with the swearing-in of the new Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The Malaysian government call center on Tuesday clarified that the Conference of Rulers special meeting on January 31st is for the oath-taking ceremony of the new king. The coronation, however, will not be held on that day, hence there will be no public holiday declared. The Conference of Rulers also will meet on January 24th to decide who will be the new Agong. FGV Holdings Berhad Chairman Dato' Azhar Abdul Hamid has written an unprecedented letter to shareholders laying bare manifold problems facing the company that lost 13.6 billion ringgit in market capitalization since its listing in 2012. He said the company had also identified non-core businesses and assets valued at 350 million ringgit for disposal. In the letter released to Bursa Malaysia on Tuesday, Dato' Azhar said he decided to write directly to the shareholders as they deserve timely and clear updates on the turnaround plan as the shareholders. He expressed confidence that the FGV will return to green with the initiatives that will be implemented by the management team led by the new Group Chief Executive Officer who will be announced in a few days' time. In the letter, Dato' Azhar also highlighted 12 problems that led to FGV's poor financial performance. These include poor management of plantations, unwise investments of listing proceeds, underperforming joint ventures, negative market perception, and accusations of labor abuse and human rights violations. When FGV made its debut on Bursa Malaysia 6.5 years ago, it was the second largest initial public offering in the world and raised 4.5 billion ringgit from its listing. Its largest shareholder, the Federal Land Development Authority, or FELDA, received 5.5 billion ringgit from the offer for sale of its stake in FGV. At listing, FGV's market capitalization was 16.6 billion ringgit, but it plunged to 3 billion ringgit as of January 2019. Lembaga Tabung Haji, TH, is in a position to pay dividend or hibah to its 9.3 million depositors for 2018. At a media briefing on the progress of TH's turnaround plan on Tuesday, its group managing director and CEO, Datuk Seri Zukri Samad, said TH has restored its balance sheet with a transfer of 106 underperforming listed domestic equities to the special purpose vehicle Urus Harta Jamaah Sendirian Berhad. The transfers were completed as at December 31st, 2018.
Meaning that we are, inshallah, in 2018 itself, will be legally, all right, based on the Act, will be legally capable of declaring hibah. But please don't expect too much lah for 2018, because kita ni baru baik berdemam je, right? But now, we are now in a position legally, we are now in a position to pay hibah based on the profit that we can generate for 2018.
In 2017, TH declared a hibah payout of 4.5% and a bonus of 1.75% to the depositors. Meanwhile, commenting on the progress of the TH's turnaround plan, Datuk Sri Zukri said prior to the assets transfer to the SPV, Urus Harta Jamaah Sendirian Berhad, TH's exposure to the equities market was too high. In 2016, 55% of its assets were in equities, which was then decreased to 50% in 2017.
We are not fund managers. We are basically, our role is to administer the house, you know. So I think the focus on investment should change. we certainly will look at new asset allocation. I think the focus is more now actually a fixed income rather than equity. It's not that we are not going to equity, but I think the balance more actually is skewed toward the fixed income, where we have a steady stream of return.
To enhance transparency, Tabung Haji, he said, will be providing quarterly updates on financial performance beginning first quarter of 2019. This will enable depositors and the public to track how the fund is doing. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has again arrested Baling Member of Parliament Datuk Sri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim. The UMNO Supreme Council member will be charged on Wednesday along with his brother over corruption and money laundering allegations. In a statement on Tuesday, the MACC confirmed that Datuk Sri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim and his brother, Datuk Abdul Latif Abdul Rahim, were detained at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya at about 4:30 p.m. This was after the anti-graft body obtained the go-ahead to charge the duo from the Attorney General's chambers. The former Tabung Haji TH chairman and his brother will be brought to the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court tomorrow at 9 a.m. Both will face charges under the MACC Act and Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act. Earlier, the two arrived at the Commission's headquarters at 2:55 p.m. to have their statements recorded after they were summoned by the graftbuster. In September, the duo, along with the director of the company, were arrested and remanded for 4 days to assist investigations for allegedly accepting bribes for a TH project. Subsequently, the Baling lawmaker's son was nabbed for a day in October. On May 23rd, the MACC also raided and seized 500,000 ringgit cash and 1.2 million ringgit in various currencies from Datuk Sri Abdul Aziz's residences. In Kelantan, a former executive of a pawnbroking company was charged with 31 counts of falsifying documents and committing criminal breach of trust, CBT, amounting to over 494,000 ringgit at the Kota Baru Sessions Court. 31-year-old Natasha Muhammad Zahid claimed trial when all the charges were read out to her before Judge Zaman Muhammad Noor. For the first 15 charges, the accused was charged with deceiving her supervisor at Rahnu Exchange by submitting falsified documents to pawn jewellery for 204,410 ringgit. The offences were committed at the outlet in Jalan Kebun Sultan between May and October 2016. For the other 16 charges, she was accused of CBT by pawning jewellery belonging to 6 clients, worth 290,144 ringgit. The court allowed bail at 10,000 ringgit and set March 4th for remention of the case. The Prime Minister on Tuesday extended his greetings to the Tamil community nationwide celebrating the Pongal Harvest Festival. Tun Dr. Mahathir delivered this message in a 42-second video uploaded on his official Facebook account.
Saya ingin mengucapkan selamat Hari Pongal kepada masyarakat India yang merayakannya. Saya diberitahu Pongal membawa maksud melimpah dan ia berkaitan dengan hasil tanaman dan ternakan. Jika tahun lalu rezeki kita memuaskan, saya berharap tahun ini ia akan terus melimpah ruah. Dan harapan ini tidak terhad kepada mereka yang menyambut perayaan Pongal sahaja, tetapi juga kepada seluruh rakyat Malaysia. Terima kasih.
Coming up next, fatal crash leaves man and nephew dead. Stay with us. Welcome back. A man and his 7-year-old nephew were killed after a motorcycle carrying 3 people was involved in an accident on Jalan Teluk Piah in Kuala Selangor on Tuesday. The deceased have been identified as Muhammad Rozaini Ismail, 47, and his nephew Muhammad Aryan Iman Abdullah. Rozaini's son, who was also on the motorcycle, suffered injuries to his head and shoulders. The deceased and victim have been sent to the Tanjung Karang Hospital. Selangor Traffic Investigations and Enforcement Department Deputy Chief, Deputy Superintendent Sahimi Hussein said the accident occurred at around 7 a.m. He said the lorry driver initially drove away from the scene of the accident but later presented himself to the Kuala Selangor Police Headquarters to lodge a report. Investigations into a syndicate supplying drugs to inmates at the Simpang Renggam prison will be extended to other prisons in Johor. State Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Khalil Kadir Muhammad said the move is necessary in order to identify residual networks of the syndicate.
Dan sebenarnya coordination kita dengan Jabatan Penjara dalam hal ini telah lama wujud. Ini adalah salah satu yang kita dapat expose, kita dapat tangkap kerana kita hasil daripada kerjasama kita yang rapat. So kita takkan berhenti. Pasal apa? Benda ni kita tahu dah berlaku. So kita akan teruskan lagi usaha-usaha ini. Jadi ini adalah satu kejayaan yang baiklah.
Datuk Muhammad Khalil was commenting on the success of the Federal and Johor Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department in taking down the syndicate suspected of smuggling in drugs to inmates at the prison. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun had said on Monday that 5 syndicate members were arrested in 2 separate raids in Johor on Saturday. This following the arrest of 4 suspects last year that had likely used the services of the prison's insiders. The latest 5 suspects are being remanded for 5 days until January 19th to facilitate further probe. Meanwhile, Datuk Muhammad Khalid denied allegations that a Year 1 pupil was raped by her classmates in their school in Johor Bahru. The allegation went viral since last night.
Setelah kita buat pemeriksaan rapi dengan doktor pakar, kita memang tidak wujud apa yang diviralkan. Tetapi dalam apa yang diviralkan itu, isu ceritanya mengatakan bahawa pekerja sekolah ini nampak beberapa budak lelaki dan budak perempuan di dalam bilik air. Jadi ini siasatan rapi kita sedang jalankan. What is the scenario all about lah. Tapi hakikatnya ini adalah satu pendekatan yang kita orang kata kita nak siasat lebih lanjut. Tetapi but the fact is kita dah buat hantar budak tu for medical dan kita dapat maklum balas bahawa tidak wujudlah apa yang dikatakan dengan isu rogol ni.
It was alleged that the 7-year-old pupil was raped during recess by 3 of her classmates inside the boys' toilet last Thursday. And the victim's mother then brought her to the Sultan Ismail Hospital here for a medical checkup. A company owner and 4 company managers, aged between 35 and 65, are in remand for 7 days for allegedly submitting false information to obtain tenders worth nearly 9 million ringgit. The tender is to supply food to 4 secondary schools in Tawau for the period 2017 and 2018. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Herlina Muse following an application by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC. In Kedah, a jobless man believed to be a drug addict was charged at the Yan Magistrates Court with the murder of 2 siblings in Kampung Tengah, Kuala Sungai Yan last week. 49-year-old Amir Arifin was charged with the murder of 5-year-old Nurul Hanum Idris and 2-year-old Muhammad Hafiz Idris at a house in Kampung Tengah last January 8th. The charge under Section 302 of the Penal Code provides the mandatory death sentence upon conviction. The court set March 18th for mention. In Kedah, a suspected drug addict who is around 7 months pregnant was rushed to the hospital after complaining of labor pains. The woman in her 30s and her boyfriend were earlier picked up by the National Anti-Drugs Agency (NADA) team at a house in Kampung Naga near Jitra at 11 p.m. on Monday. In the incident at about 5 a.m., the woman told authorities while she was under detention that she was experiencing some complications. An ambulance rushed her to the Sultan Bahia Hospital where she was warded and is in stable condition. In Perak, police arrested a woman who has been stealing baby milk around Ipoh with her 2 sons, aged 15 and 19, since last year. Ipoh District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Ali Tambi said the trio have been targeting supermarkets around the city. He said police discovered 218 packets of milk of various brands at the suspect's house in Mung Lembu. The 36-year-old woman and her 2 sons are now in remand to assist investigations for theft. After the breather, bomb-packed truck blows up near high-security compound in Kabul. This and more when we return. We're back with a foreign front. British Prime Minister Theresa May faces a humiliating defeat in Tuesday's crucial vote on her Brexit deal. The vote will take place from around 7 p.m. local time on Tuesday evening or about 3 a.m. on Wednesday Malaysian time after backbench amendments are put through, culminating in the meaningful vote on the withdrawal agreement itself. A defeat is highly likely as MPs are expected to reject the deal, which will throw the Brexit process into chaos. Attorney General Geoffrey Cox has opened the last day of debate, with May due to close the debate with a speech from about 6:20 p.m. local time. He called on MPs to recognize the value of compromise and opt for order over chaos. Cox's statement, however, is expected to bring minor impact as about 100 Conservative MPs and the Democratic Unionist Party, 10 MPs, could join Labour and the other opposition parties to vote it down. What happens next depends on the outcome of the vote, and speculation is almost impossible in these uncharted waters. If the deal goes ahead, May will be redeemed with just enough time for the deal to be ratified before the UK leaves the European Union on March 29th. If the plan is rejected, the most likely next step in this case would see May heading back to Brussels to try to get further concessions from the EU. Then she would put the deal before Parliament again until it finally gets through. However, the chances are, if this continues, Article 50 will need to be extended. The Taliban on Tuesday has claimed responsibility for a powerful truck bomb attack in Kabul, Afghanistan, that ripped through surrounding neighborhoods, killing at least 4 people and wounding more than 100 others. In a grim message, the militants also vowed to carry out more attacks in the city in direct response to the recent appointment of former spy master and anti-Taliban veteran Amrullah Saleh as interior minister. Monday's evening explosion near a heavily fortified foreign compound shook Kabul and comes as diplomats ramp up efforts to end the 17-year war in Afghanistan. The force of the blast was felt across the sprawling city, initially causing confusion about the exact location of the attack. It also shattered windows of surrounding houses and shops. 4 people have been confirmed dead and 113 wounded. Most of the victims were Afghan civilians. Still to come on Nightline, action from the 2019 Perodua Malaysia Masters. Don't go away. Sports badminton, the 2019 Perodua Malaysia Masters. National singles shuttler Lee Zijia outplayed fellow countryman Sung Ju Ven on Tuesday to move a step away from fulfilling his dream of facing world #1 Kento Momota of Japan. Lee did not enjoy a good start, losing the first set 21-23. The 20-year-old shuttler, however, bounced back and claimed the next 2 sets 21-13, 24-22 to set a first-round clash with Thailand's Sittikom Tamasin on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Malaysia's 2 professional players, Iskandar Zulkarnain and Chong Wei Feng, failed to qualify for the main draw. Iskandar lost 21-16, 16-21, 12-21 to Sain Som Bunsok, while Wei Feng fell 20-22, 21-8, 19-21 to Denmark's Victor Svensson in the qualifying rounds. Flashing shooting star Amish Wijesekera officially opened the shows at the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in Berlin on Tuesday with his unique mix of traditions in Sri Lanka and London fashion. The spectacle of unique designs with psychedelic colors wrap up tonight's news. With that, I'm Nakia Bashiruddin. Thanks for watching. Take care.